Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with StraightSmile Solutions, and today I want to talk to you about a pretty common question, which is how to bond attachments with Invisalign or any other aligner system, or even how to bond braces to a porcelain crown or a veneer or to anything porcelain or composite. So I definitely recommend, first of all, if you can't avoid it, when you do set up the treatment plan or set up the case, first of all, if it's braces, if the patient has a ton of crowns, you really want to consider doing aligners if possible. And I have yet to see a case that isn't possible doing aligners. I'm not saying it's always the fastest, but for the most part, it works out. So I don't buy that's not possible. But sometimes patients really, really want braces, right? But you can explain to them that you're going to need to get bands on the back teeth. It's going to be a lot more uncomfortable, and the aligners are going to be more comfortable. But anyways, if you're doing aligners, you can avoid very often just by thinking outside the box, putting attachments or buttons on a tooth with porcelain jacket crowns or veneers or anything like that. So you want to just have your pano out when you're doing the setup to make sure you're avoiding that. Occasionally, there's no way to avoid it. In that case, if that's the way it is, you're going to need to purchase a porcelain etchant and conditioner kit. Now, my favorite, there's many that are out there. My favorite is made by Reliance Orthodontics. This thing has been around for decades. I was first introduced to it in residency almost 20 years ago. Ooh, it has been 20 years, yikes. Fantastic. This stuff is super, super strong. But remember, whenever you're doing porcelain, process of preparing it, it's not the same. It's using a much stronger etchant. It's a yellow etch. I believe it's made of HF. Now, if you're a general dentist office, you might already have this kind of kit in your office for repairing porcelain breakage on a crown. So check, you might have it already. The stuff is super caustic. So you have to sometimes they have like a barrier protection you're going to put on, or you're going to have to super babysit this patient. You cannot like put the etch on and go see another patient. This is basically like 4-handed or 6-handed dentistry, because if it gets on the gums, you're going to burn the gums. It's not a joke, okay? And that's a liability. So you have to babysit this patient. Matter of fact, if I'm a doctor, I'm not going to have my assistant do this unless they're extremely, extremely skilled, talented, and trained. And in some states, you can't have your assistant putting etch on. So you need to go by the standard of care within your state. But in addition, it has a different kind of primer. I believe it's a silane coupler, if I remember correctly. All this is coming back from biomaterials. So it's different than your traditional primer that you're going to use. The adhesive is the same. So etch is different, primer is different. You're going to need to purchase that, or the attachments aren't going to fit. In addition, just to complicate things a little bit more, some kinds of crystalline structure in the crowns are really easy to bond to. And some, if they have a heavy glaze, like basically the way I look at it, the nicer the crown looks, the harder it's going to be to bond, and the more you're going to have to wreck it. So you might give it a try. If it doesn't stick, keeps falling off, you're going to have to break the glaze on that crown. And anytime you start drilling on someone's crown that's a nice crown, you better have permission to do that, because if you break it, chip it, it doesn't look as good, you're liable. So these are just things that you're going to need permission from the patient in order to do it. So just all things to take into account. I think the price point is around 100-ish on this kit, but this kit will last you for a lot of patients. Remember, you want to store it correctly, isolate correctly, take care of your patient. We don't want any burns or anything like that. We want to protect their crowns. Worst comes to worst, if it's a really junky crown, you can drill a hole in the crown. Not a full hole, but you can like really, really get a lot of mechanical retention. It works. And I've done that with gold crowns and crowns that needed to be replaced anyways. We just kind of wreck them so that it sticks good. But of course, you want a patient release. I would get that in writing if you're going to wreck their stuff. All right, that's pretty much it. So again, the company is called Reliance Orthodontics, RELIANCE orthodontics.com. All right, and I don't get any compensation for letting you know about this, so just letting you know it's good stuff. All right, thank you.